Tonight, we are following breaking news after one person was killed in a crash on the northwest side. Thanks for joining us tonight, inviting us in for this late edition of 13 News at 11. I'm Karen Campbell, in for Scott Swan. We want to give you a live look at the scene right now. This is on Lafayette Road near Kessler Boulevard. Again, happening on the northwest side of Indy. Police tell us this happened around 11 p.m. and they tell us only one vehicle was involved in that crash. It was a cool, crisp night, of course, wrapping up your Thanksgiving day. Here is a live look at downtown where things have stayed dry but cool throughout the holiday. So, Rob, we know the cold air is simply sticking around. It's not going away.
It's going to be here for a while. I think we're going to have 5 days of the temperatures staying below freezing, so it is certainly going to stay cold. Let me start with where we are now. We've got a weekend to get through and show you where the temperatures are certainly going to drop. We've got 30 degrees currently. Wind chills are going to play a role as well because we have to get the really cold air in place, and in order to do that, we have to move the cold air in. That's the wind that's going to kick up overnight. It's not terribly cold at the moment. 29 currently for Lafayette. We've got 30 in Indy. These temperatures have almost held flatline over the past, I'd say, maybe 6 to 12 hours or so. We're going to see those temperatures cool down a bit. Now, this is the wind chill. It already feels like it's into the teens currently, or into the 20s for some of you. That number will likely hold in the teens for much of the day. The good news is that Live Doppler 13 is quiet, so we expect that to overall be the case. There may be a chance for a little snow shower here and there to pop up or some flurries, but if you're Black Friday shopping, temperatures in the 20s, and look at this, the winds are going to be kicking up. They'll get even more blustery as we get through the day. Your high temperature into the 30s, and if you're headed for Circle of Lights for Friday, we expect the 20s to continue. Now, I'm going to come back and talk about how these winds are going to impact your wind chill forecast, because that could be in the single digits. I'll talk about when that happens.
All right, thanks, Rob. And with so many events happening this holiday weekend, make sure you've got the WTHR weather app. It puts current conditions and radar right on your phone. Plus, you can check our weather blog. It's a free download in your phone's app store. On this Thanksgiving, a Boone County man and his family are counting their blessings. Lane Beard suffered a stroke 2 years ago and has fought to recover. Now he's being named the Salvation Army of Boone County's new honorary bell captain. Our Logan Gay shares his story and why the community is celebrating him this holiday season.
For Lane Beard and his family, every day is Thanksgiving.
I'm just thankful to still be here to celebrate this great day.
2 years ago, he woke up with a headache, which turned out to be an AVM rupture, which led to him having a stroke and brain bleed. He was only 22 years old at the time. Doctors didn't think he was going to make it. He was in the hospital for 100 days, but he survived. And when he woke up, he had a new life.
Over the course of the last 2 years, Lane's had to learn how to eat, how to breathe, how to talk, how to grab things with his hands, how to walk.
The fight was clearly not over for Lane, but he was up for the challenge.
It was a tough fight, but with help from my parents and God, I made it through.
Fast forward 2 years later, Lane is walking and talking again.
When he first got to where he was initiating more and talking, one of the first things he said is he wanted to help people.
And that's exactly what he did.
When a volunteer opportunity comes up, I just go for it.
He does anything he's asked to do. And thankfully, folks around the community, or anytime they have something that they need a volunteer, they're like, hey, does Lane want to help out? So it's became something really, really beautiful.
His generous spirit has not gone unnoticed in the community. To show their appreciation, the fire chief nominated to make him the new Boone County Salvation Army honorary bell captain, now making him the face of the season.
Feels great. I'm very thankful.
A whirlwind for his family.
2.5 years ago, we were praying for Lane to breathe, for Lane to be able to move a thumb, move a finger, and now they text me, or maybe they called me on their way home and said, hey, guess what? Lane's going to be honorary bell captain. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
But Lane says his desire to serve comes from paying it forward after the community came together for him. He and his family hopes his story inspires others to never give up.
I just hope everyone just has faith in themselves. If you put your mind to it, anything's possible.
This was a whole new life for him. And the new life is beautiful.
And it will only get better. In Lebanon, Logan Gay, 13 News.
All right, thank you, Logan, for that story. Well, today, thousands of Hoosiers enjoyed a Thanksgiving meal courtesy of the Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving Day dinner. For more than 50 years, volunteers have packed and loaded thousands of Thanksgiving dinners for those in need. It's all in the spirit of the late Reverend Dr. Moselle Sanders. His service to Indianapolis, the Indianapolis community focused on giving an inspired holiday meal giveaway. And if you weren't able to get involved this holiday season, there is always next year.
Sure. In future years, we're on the website mosellesanders.org. We usually start around October with our volunteer list, so you can go there and check it out. Some people, this is their tradition. They won't eat their food until they serve others food.
Well, more than 1,000 volunteers came together this year to provide more than 10,000 meals for that community. And some of our city and state leaders also stopped by one of the Moselle Sanders locations today. Governor Eric Holcomb and Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett got to work behind the scenes, helping to prepare some of the meals for delivery. Now, this has become an annual tradition for them as well.
It is a huge organizational effort to make sure that families in need have a wonderful meal to enjoy at Thanksgiving.
There is hope and there is opportunity that goes along with that. We are blessed because of so many Hoosiers around the state of Indiana who are fortunate themselves, but they always give back and they always are caring beyond their even immediate sphere of influence.
This is Governor Holcomb's final year volunteering at Moselle Sanders as the governor. He tells us he hopes to continue giving his time to the foundation after he leaves office. Thousands of people also took some time to give back today by putting on their running shoes. Earlier today, runners and walkers of all ages lined up at the starting line in Broad Ripple for the 22nd annual Drumstick Dash. The event is hosted by the Wheeler Mission and it helps raise money for those experiencing homelessness this holiday season. People had the option of doing the full 4.5-mile course or the shorter 2.4 to 5-mile route. The community stepped up again this year to support the cause.
Yeah, we've got people we got kids here, we got grandparents that have been here for years. Yeah. This is our 22nd year. And so we started this event to make sure people had something they could do on an important day to make sure people are cared for. And man, the community has stepped up for 22 years in a row and they just don't stop.
And this year's event raised nearly $1 million for the Wheeler Mission. Well, WTHR is proud to be the media partner for the Drumstick Dash, and our very own Dave Calabro has been the MC for many of those years. So today, Wheeler Mission wanted to show him how thankful they are for starting his Thanksgiving days with them over the years.
Please give Dave a warm thank you and welcome. Dave Calabro. Thank you. Hey, I just want to say thank you to the Wheeler Mission. It's a blessing to be a part of this. It's become a tradition of my family, and we've shared a lot of great memories here. So thank you, and let's keep this thing growing. Absolutely. Bigger and better than ever, right?
And if you haven't heard, Dave is retiring from 13 News. His last day with us will be December 19th. Well, Thanksgiving is a day for food and fellowship, not just in central Indiana, but across the country. A church in Hamilton County did its part to make sure no one is left behind for the holidays. People with St. Louis de Montfort in Fishers have been helping provide those in need with a holiday meal over the last decade. They serve nearly 300 dinners throughout the day to anyone looking for a Thanksgiving meal. However, it's about so much more than just the food.
You know, let's just forget whatever the differences are that may be out there and just come together. Let's celebrate the day, be with each other, and just try to be family and embrace whoever comes in the door.
And the food was prepared by the Good Samaritan Network of Hamilton County, Inc. Tonight, this is what's left of a mother's car after it was set on fire. Inside the car, more destruction. You can see, of course, the leather was melted off the seats and the dash was left charred. Now, we want you to take a look at some security video. It shows a man walking up to the car near East Washington Street and South Emerson Avenue. Video shows the man walk up to the car with a bicycle in one hand and a jug in the other. That's when a bright light is going to flash across the camera, and that shows the moment the car burst into flames. Sierra Vasquez owned the SUV and says she has no idea why someone would do this.
I was just trying to figure out why. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a clearly proposed act, and why?
Vasquez says that this all happened a little more than a week ago in the early morning hours after coming home from work. And she says she keeps to herself and looks after her kids. She's now without a car and a sense of security.
I just had a new baby. She's almost 4 months old. So I got that car right before I gave birth to her so I could have something reliable. Like I said, my son plays sports. My daughter does dance class. Kids have doctor's appointments, and I have to get to work. It's not easy to just get on a bus and, you know, get them to school and get to work and all that timing and stuff like that.
And she says along with the car, she also lost things like baby clothes and toys for her newborn daughter.